Yo, qué pasó, mi gente? Welcome to the Forever Grind Show. This is your host, El Daviso. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Good morning. Hope y'all had a good morning. Hope y'all slept well. Hope you had the caffeine kick, that morning coffee, Starbucks, whatever you be drinking today. Man, if you're at work, hopefully you have a good day at work today. If it's your day off, hopefully you're chilling. Hope y'all staying away from that Tylenol. Sorry, I had to get that off my chest. How about that? You know, Tylenol, acetaminophen, however you pronounce that word, Tylenol. Yeah, I guess so much for getting some money off of that, right? You know, I was gonna reach out to them and be like, "Hey, how about a sponsorship?" So much for that. Not gonna happen. But anyways, hope y'all having a great day, man. Got a few things to talk about today. Two of them involving the Giants and Russell Wilson. As some of y'all may know, Jaxson Dart is gonna be starting this Sunday against my Chargers. I mean, it was bound to happen. It was inevitable. I mean, see, I feel horrible for Jaxson Dart that has to go in this way. Now, I'm not saying it's not going to work. I'm not saying it will work. But it's just a very dysfunctional franchise right now. Again, they got talent. They got a lot of talent. But there needs to be some type of bigger leadership. Now, if I'm going to be honest, I'd rather, if it's worst case scenario and I had to pick which better worst case scenario I want to be in between Miami and New York, I'm going to be straight up honest with you. I'd rather be in New York. I mean, I'll probably talk about that too. If I were to differ Miami and New York, it just seems a lot calmer in New York. No pun intended. I mean, Miami could be a little wild. I've never been to Miami. Those who are from Miami, hey, y'all let me know. I'm from San Diego, baby. San Diego all day. SD, baby. But anyways, besides the point, it's just, it says a lot, and I do feel that this is the last we'll see Russell Wilson as a starting quarterback. I'm not saying he's gonna be a backup forever. I mean, look at Carson Wentz. He's starting for the Minnesota Vikings. He pulled off the win. But what does this say now about Russell Wilson? I'll get to Jaxson Dart in a second. I have a lot of questions about Russell Wilson now. A lot of questions. And let me tell you something. This all started in, I want to say 2014. Correct me if I'm wrong. At a Super Bowl, I want to say Super Bowl 49. Yeah, Super Bowl 49, if I could remember from the back of my head. I'm scratching my head, the back of my head. No pun intended with that either. It just happened. See, it all started then. Pete Carroll, who was then the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks, they went to the Super Bowl back-to-back. Won the first one, Super Bowl 48, when they had the Legion of Boom. Devastating blowout with Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos. Now, when they went against Tom Brady and the New England Patriots, it was a different story. Now, everybody knows. Anybody who's a football fan, anybody who's been a football fan for the past 15 to 20 years, 10 to 15 years, we all know the story about that Super Bowl, what happened. The worst call in Super Bowl history. When they should have given the ball to Marshawn Lynch run it for a touchdown, they would have sealed the deal, one back-to-back. They would have beaten not just Peyton Manning, but also Tom Brady. Back-to-back. The biggest stars in the NFL back then. But they didn't do that. Pete Carroll ended up relying on Russell Wilson. Tried to make him out to be the hero. It just didn't work that way. Matter of fact, he threw the pick at the end zone. Honestly, you could have ran the ball. You would have won. You didn't have to make Russell Wilson the hero. Marshawn Lynch was already the hero on that team. But back to my point. We all knew that Russell Wilson wasn't the guy then. And then as time went by, it just wasn't showing the consistency. Russell Wilson will go a couple years making a case to be a MVP candidate, but it still wasn't working. He'll go off. He'll cook for the first couple, maybe 6-8 weeks, and then he'll drop. It came to a point where there was just no more. There's no more juice. There was no more flow. Then he ended up going to the Denver Broncos. Or it happened to be an even worse situation. To a point where Sean Payton said, hey, take a pay cut or you don't play. Because Russell Wilson wasn't producing. Wasn't getting anywhere. Now he goes, after that, he goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers, having a QB battle with Justin Fields. You know, it just, when you're in a situation like that, I think the message should be clear. You're giving opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, and it's not bringing any progress. Now you're with the New York Giants. You're being benched after week 3. It just wasn't looking good. The game against the Dallas Cowboys just wasn't enough. There needed to be more even prior to that. Had you got the win with Washington, had you got the win with the Dallas Cowboys, had you got the win against the Kansas City Chiefs, who right now is extremely dysfunctional, you could have taken advantage of that team and got the win there, but you didn't. Especially in that ugly last series. Had the chance to, well, they lost the game anyways, but it just looked like Russell Wilson gave up. Now that he's being benched, Jaxson Dart is taking over. This is my question to y'all. Is Russell Wilson a Hall of Famer? Is he bound to make it to the Hall of Fame anytime soon? Will he be a Hall of Famer? Like, will he be a first ballot? Will he make it anytime soon? I got an answer. I mean, no disrespect, but no, I don't. I personally don't think Russell Wilson is for sure not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Not at all. I don't think so. Is he a Hall of Famer in general? I'm going to be honest. No, I don't. I don't feel like he is a Hall of Famer. I just don't. He's a person that participated with the team that did all the work. Can we agree on that? And I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I got to call it like I see it. I've been seeing this dude play since 2013. I've seen his play with Seattle. I've seen him crash and burn. Going from team after team after team after team. And I just don't see it. I could see Nick Foles being a Hall of Famer before Russell Wilson. I could see Joe Flacco being a Hall of Famer before Russell Wilson. He's got a Super Bowl MVP. I'll put it this way. I see Ryan Fitzpatrick being in the Hall of Fame before Russell Wilson. I see Phillip Rivers being a Hall of Fame before Russell Wilson. I see Eli Manning being a Hall of Famer before Russell Wilson. I see Ben Roethlisberger being in the Hall of Fame before Russell Wilson. Those are just quarterbacks. I see Larry Fitzgerald. I see DeAndre Hopkins. I can see Frank Gore. I see a lot of people more deserving that hasn't even won a championship, more deserving than Russell Wilson to be in the Hall of Fame. Is that a hot take? Sure. But that's just the way I see it. I don't see those stats in Russell Wilson that warrants him the opportunity to go to just be elected into the Hall of Fame, let alone be voted into the Hall of Fame. Hell, I see Chad Ochocinco Johnson going to the Hall of Fame, which he should have already been a long time ago. Ochocinco needs to be in the Hall of Fame before Russell Wilson, man. It's long overdue. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. Ochocinco's Hall of Fame ceremony is long overdue. He deserves it. He deserved it a long time ago. All those players I listed, there's a lot more. I'll bet you anything there's a lot more that haven't even won a championship, that haven't even been into the big dance of the Super Bowl, that deserve to be in the Hall of Fame before Russell Wilson. Do you guys think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame? Do you think he'll be voted into the Hall of Fame? Is he first ballot? Because I can tell you right now, I think personally this is it. Is he going to retire after this year? Honestly, I don't think so, but I think he should. I think this should mark his last year in the NFL. Because all Russell Wilson's going to be is a backup quarterback. If he still has the love for the game and still believes that he'll get another shot to try to redeem himself, I say good luck. I'm nobody to say that he needs to fail. I just don't see it. It's just one too many chances. He hasn't had that type of flow, that type of game since a couple years before he left Seattle. So I don't know. I'll stand by this though. He's not a Hall of Famer. He's done being a starting quarterback. And this should honestly be his last year. I strongly think like that. But I'll tell you who has a future ahead of him. And that's Jaxson Dart. Kid's talented, man. He truly is. He's got talent around him. But can he have some leadership? You're going against the Chargers this Sunday. You're being thrown into the wolves. You're going to be hunted by Derwin James. That defense, that defense is going to be battling against Justin Herbert. You're going to be covering Vlad McConkey. You're going to be covering Keenan Allen. You're going to be covering Quentin Johnston, which, honestly, talk about a couple years late, but welcome to the party. Took me by surprise. I wanted him out. Now, you got to cover him. You got to find a way to stop the run. You got to find a way to stop the rookie, Amarian Hampton. It couldn't happen any other way. It just happened. It happened to happen this Sunday. It couldn't have been against, no offense, a mediocre team. It had to be this Sunday against the Chargers. The Chargers they're no joke. Not this year. Honestly, the Chargers have proven themselves. I'm not saying this as a fan. If anybody's seen the Chargers over the years, this is not the same old Chargers. I'll tell you this right now. They were back then. There were the Los Angeles Chokers. There were the San Diego Chokers. You call it what it is. That's not what this is this time. The Chargers are the real deal, and they're going to New York. And New York is going to have to welcome a beast. A national champion winning head coach that seems to know what he's doing. Turning that franchise around, making Justin Herbert look like an MVP caliber quarterback. Did you see that play? Defenders all over Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert throws to Keenan Allen for a touchdown. Keenan Allen, who wasn't looking good with the Bears, only to come find out that it was the Chargers that he should have never left. But talk about an accident. A blessing in disguise, if you may. That's who Jaxson Dart has to face this Sunday. A contender. A dominant team. The only way the New York Giants will be able to win is if the Chargers go back to memory lane and become their own selves and beat themselves. Honestly, if you ask me, it's just not fair, but it's inevitable. It had to happen that way. There was no other choice. I don't have expectations for the New York Giants this year. Not with Jaxson Dart. And I'm not saying that as a negative. If anything, it's a good thing. Let's see what the kids got in the NFL. When Justin Herbert was starting, I believe it was week 2 and on, he had to play against Patrick Mahomes. He had a duel against Tom Brady. Threw for probably 4 touchdowns. They lost the game, but man, to have that type of game against a future Hall of Famer, the greatest of all time, I could see Jaxson Dart having that type of game as well. You never know. He could be the answer to the New York Giants. You could be the answer to Malik Neighbors, who's been dying to catch those passes. He's been trying to be open. Looking frustrated every game. It's going to be interesting to watch this Sunday. I'm definitely I'm there's no way I'm not going to watch that game. I mean, it's my Chargers. Why wouldn't I watch that game? And it's bittersweet cuz I get to see the debut of Jaxson Dart in Nueva York, New York. Man, just when it couldn't get a little more depressing, how many injuries are there in the NFL right now? Nick Bosa is out for the season with the torn ACL. Uh, San Francisco 49ers, I'm just going to tell you right now, it's over. It's done. I'll tell you why it's over and it's done. There's only so much, man, that the Niners can do on an injury bug. I get it. I get it. I know what it feels like to see your season come crashing down due to an injury bug. It's it's sad. It's horrible, especially what you're 3-0, but with all these key players that you're missing your quarterback, you're missing your tight end, you're missing your wide receiver, you're missing your defensive end. What else? It's just not looking good. I don't think personally, I don't think the Niners have a chance this year, especially with the lead of 3-0. You still have to battle the NFC. You still have to battle the AFC and their contenders. And then that NFC West is still competitive. Matter of fact, I believe everybody is in over 500. Yeah. The 49ers are 3-0. The Rams are 2-1. The Cardinals 2-1 and the Seahawks 2-1. Those Seahawks, that defense, that's another one. 49ers, it's just not looking good. Because again, you have to play against a division who is above 500. I don't know. There's been a plethora of injuries throughout the league right now. Everybody's dropping like flies. JJ McCarthy's out once again. Will we ever see how good he really is? Joe Burrow is out once again. Is his career being wasted with injuries? I think we only had 2 good years. He's been in the league, 6 years now? I think the only one from his draft class to win a Super Bowl was Jalen Hurts. I believe that was in his draft class. Drafted in the second round. But man, it's one too many for the league. And it raises questions if they'll have a future in the NFL. Then Bosa brothers, they know how to stay off the field than they do in. But I digress. Man. But what a Wednesday. We got a football game tomorrow night. I believe it's Seahawks and the Cardinals, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to check that right now. Give me 1 second. I was right. Seahawks and the Cardinals. Man, that should be a good divisional rivalry game. I mean, the Seahawks have been doing great. The Cardinals, they're coming up. They did lose James Conner. But we'll see how it goes. I'll give you my prediction of that game tomorrow. My goodness. What a conversation I had with y'all today. Please like and subscribe and comment. I'll be posting this on TikTok as well. So for all you TikTokers, if you want to join the conversation, go ahead and comment down below. Talk to me. Let's talk to each other. Oh, I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in at the Forever Grind Show. This is your host, El Daviso. I will see you guys tomorrow. Y'all have a beautiful and blessed Wednesday. Y'all take care. I love y'all. Stay away from that Tylenol. Peace.